Criticism of Israel must not cross the line into negation of the state of Israel's right to exist. Questioning the Jewish people's right to self-determination is not legitimate diplomacy, it is anti-Semitism.
And certainly at a time when the U.S. needs to be united with Israel, the White House had to clarify this past week, that Biden may meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at some point this year, but no specific invitation has been made.
Joining us now to discuss this visit and more, National President of the Zionist Organization of America, Mort Klein. Welcome in. Good to see you, Mort.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
I'd like to get your reflections on the takeaways from the visit this week of Herzog and also the strained relationship between Biden and Netanyahu. Obviously, this was the moment in the Oval Office where Biden also was fumbling with his cards, sort of looked very disoriented, putting it kindly.
Look, President Herzog, who's a ceremonial leader, he has no legitimate power to run Israel. Netanyahu does. That's who should have been invited. And I'm afraid to say that he's dealing with one of the most hostile administrations Israel has ever dealt with. Biden is one of the most hostile presidents Israel we've ever dealt with. I believe that's in part because he has Barack Hussein Obama advising him behind the scenes. He's called the Israeli government publicly extreme. He's never said a negative word about Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian Authority government, which is a terrorist dictatorship, which pays Arabs lifetime pensions to murder Jews, names school streets and posters after them, has this emblem as the emblem of the Palestinian Authority, showing all of Israel with the Arab keffiyeh over all of it, and Arafat in the center. So I was sorry that, frankly, that President Herzog did not express some concerns about some of these actions by President Biden. And with respect to Iran, he's ignored most of the sanctions, allowing Iran to gain billions of dollars in monies that they never had before. And he started to fund the Palestinian Authority. Donald Trump ended all funding as long as the Palestinian Authority pays Arabs to murder Jews. Now we, the United States of American citizens, give the Palestinian Authority's terrorist dictatorship $800 million a year. So I was sorry that Herzog missed an opportunity to make these points clear in his speech.
Yeah, and Morton, your organization outlined some of the positives, but also some of the negative takeaways in this. And that's something that was talked about, how President Biden has undermined, according to yourself and the organization, Israel for many years, including the threatening to cut off aid to Israel. On the topic of Iran, though, I want to touch on that because in his speech, President Herzog also talked about the Iranian threat and its continued, the country's continued nuclear weapons program, saying, that perhaps the greatest challenge Israel and the United States is facing at this time is Iran's nuclear program. This has always been a red line for Israel, whether it's Likud, whether it's Benjamin Netanyahu, whether it's more liberal, left-wing politicians. The red line is always preventing Iran from going down that road and getting to the point of enriching its uranium. But we're close to that. Iran is right on the cusp of that. So my question is the United States, as an ally and partner to Israel, in your view, doing enough to really counter this Iranian threat?
No. They had as their main negotiator with Iran Robert Malley, a man who's been publicly sympathetic to Iran, publicly sympathetic to Hamas. This is the wrong man to be a negotiator. And President Biden has ignored most of the sanctions that were put in place in the last administration against Iran, allowing Iran to earn billions of dollars selling oil all over the world. These sanctions have been ignored. In addition, President Biden and Blinken, Secretary of State Blinken, never says publicly, we support the possibility of military action against Iran if they move too close to getting nuclear weapons. They'll say all options on the table. They'll never say military action. I happen to know they've made it clear they do not want military action. Unfortunately, this may be the only way to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And Iran not only condemns Israel and says we want to destroy the state of Israel, They openly say, death to America. We want to destroy America too. They have developed missiles that can reach the United States of America and possibly be armed with nuclear weapons. So this is a very serious issue, and President Biden has done a very poor job in protecting America and our ally Israel when it comes to Iran.
They certainly have the capabilities to reach Tel Aviv, and we know that. So
and New York City, they can reach New York City with the missiles they've developed.
Mort Klein, really great to see you, sir. And thank you so much for joining us today with your insight.
Thank you.